Welcome to the Agency Navigators podcast. I'm Merle.
I'm Don.
And thank you so much for joining us. This is, it turns out, a topic that Don and I wanted to address right away. As we've become aware in our focus, it'll be a focus of next year for Agency CFO. But go ahead and share it.
At the end of the day, CFOs keep score.
Mm-hmm.
And that in an agency, especially as owners, how do you keep score? Well, it's value creation.
Mm-hmm.
You work hard. The result of your efforts should be increased value.
Increased value. So when we started Agency CFO, quite a long time ago now, our mentor who helped us, one of them, came up with the tagline, "We find money on the floor." Because we as CFOs uncover opportunities, financial opportunities in your agencies that you may not have known about. So we went with it and it worked really well.
Absolutely.
And then along the way, we did a strategic retreat with our team a couple of years ago. And you were reading that book in the Queen Bee topic.
The Queen Bee role, like what is the most important thing that agency CFO does? And for many agencies and ownership, it's about helping you feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that your business is financially sound, that all the bases are covered.
And not only financially sound, that's certainly what we do, but also operationally sound. We try to help you on growth. But really what Don and I have found, and I know our CFOs have found it on our team, we are someone that our agency owners come to rely on. We are business owners to business owners in the case of Don and I. And also, business ownership is extremely lonely. We're lucky because we have each other as partners. But it's still, there are lonely times. And to have a network of agency partners we work with and share with, it is that feeling of safety. They've been there for us on occasion, and we definitely make it our mission to be there for them. And that's certainly going to remain at the hallmark. We will always look for financial opportunities, and we will always make our agency owners feel safe or do our best. But along the way, and this has come up over the last month, we're really seeing it.
Yeah, as you look backwards, we get to the end of the year and, how did the agency perform? Well, I think the question I would pose to owners is, what was the value created?
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to spend time, but we're going to define that, ways of measuring it. Why is it even important? It's the result of your efforts.
The value creation we have seen, and we were talking about this before that we started recording, we believe our agency partners over the last 7 or 8 years, it is not only multi-millions of value creation.
Hundreds of millions
of dollars. Because at the end of the day, you may not be ready to sell or transition or exit. But at the end of the day, your agency has significantly increased value.
Absolutely. And we're going to define that.
Yeah, so go ahead, define.
CFOs, first off, keep score. And it's important that you're able to have a scorecard of your results. And yes, we provide you with KPIs, all these different metrics.
We have all our custom proprietary tools, our financial model.
At the end of the day, what we don't really talk about an awful lot is what was the value created.
Mm-hmm.
So let's define that.
All right. So we'll jump in an example. If you were a $2 million agency that started with us 7 years ago, let's go with that. And we've had some that have had exceptional growth, and they may be $8 million today.
Where we start, 2 million?
2.
So 6 million of growth at
more than that.
At a rough multiple of 3 times. $18 million just in value of the agency. Yes, there's some technicalities, but let's keep the math.
There's taxes, there's fees of transfer.
Debt, whatever. But, in essence, we'll keep it simple today. Just using a revenue multiple, well, that may be 18 million. So we can say, well, is that all the value? Is there what is ultimate value creation? And I would have you put value creation into 3 buckets.
What are they?
Your paycheck first, and I'm really going with W-2 technicality here, but your W-2 paycheck.
So beyond the value of the agency grind, all along over the past 8 years,
if you've been taking a W-2 paycheck, that's part of the value that's being derived from the agency.
Okay, next.
Profit. As an owner, we're going to impose today that you're 100% owner. Well, that profit is yours. So beyond making that W-2 paycheck, all the profitability of the agency belongs to you as the owner.
How you choose to use it is different, but at the end of the day, on paper,
it is value creation.
It's value creation. And then finally,
the third metric is the intrinsic value of the agency. And again, I'm going to use today, we're going to refer to just a multiple of revenue.
There's different measures.
Absolutely.
We'll simplify it.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, there are 3 main buckets of value creation. You got paid a W-2 check, profitability, and if the agency has grown, the likelihood in the growth in value. Now, there are other things such as perhaps all of the expenses that go through the agency that support you. So if your cell phone car, health insurance, some of that payroll tax is funding your FICA and all these things. Absolutely different insurances. So not only that, oftentimes it's a significant dollar amount, which is in that of the agency expenses goes to some way supporting you as the owner.
Now, at the end of the day, I want to take a little credit because we try to be super humble at Agency CFO. It is part of who we are, but we also don't want to be overlooked. And the partner agencies we have, this is the focus of our calls month after month. If you're in our mastery program, you have 2 standing calls in addition to unlimited access. This is what we focus on. We may not come out and say the value that we've increased the agency every month, and it's not just us, but it's finding those financial opportunities. It's making you feel safe. Sometimes we've talked to owners off a ledge of it's the next shiny object, and we're like, whoa, wait a minute. Or we're focusing on retention or sales growth, or, okay, is this producer the best person to hire? Are they really going to produce? That's why we do SPQ Gold now. So the idea is Agency CFO is extremely invested in our agency partners' value creation across the board in every measure.
I'm going to tackle 2 similar topics today that are associated with value. Well, first one is a technical measure. We're going to talk about the Reagan Big I benchmark of Rule of 20 and how that relates to value creation. And then we're going to talk a little bit philosophically about, well, does the value of my agency matter? Well, let's talk about that. So the first one is Reagan Big I Rule of 20. And the Rule of 20 is a metric of value creation. It's the only one that I'm really aware of that's a KPI that is technically made to measure value creation.
We actually track it in our financial model.
Absolutely. And what the Rule of 20 is a combination of growth and profitability. And the technical formula is the Rule of 20 equals 1/2 of your EBITDA profitability. That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. So you take your EBITDA profitability, take 1/2 of that, plus your fee and commission growth rate. All right. So let's boil this down to why is that? So what they are saying this is the Reagan metric. What they're saying is your profitability is weighted at 50% versus your revenue growth, which is weighted at 100%. Okay. So what they're saying is that profitability is a value measure, but growth is essentially even more. So 20 points of profit would be counted at half, 10. They'll be counted as 10. And if you grew 10% in revenue, that would be counted as 10. So 20 points of profitability equals the same weight as 10 points of growth. So an agency with 40% EBITDA in zero growth would measure the same as an agency with zero profitability and 20% growth. Rule of 20 calculation really allows comparison because it allows a very quickly growing agency with lower profitability to measure itself against the value creation of a more profitable agency, but maybe is growing slower. And both are valuable. Profitability is valuable, growth is valuable. Why is growth counted twice as important as profitability? Because ultimately most agencies sell at a multiple of revenue, and therefore profitability is money that the owners can take today, but revenue growth, is money that likelihood the owners will get when they exit down the road.
Revenue growth is the future value of the agency.
It is. Now, that's a technical measure, and we compute Rule of 20 every month, and that's an important thing to look at the end of the year. What was my value creation? Now, philosophically, we get this a little bit of where we hear from owners sometimes say, well, I'm not going to exit, or I'm not going to sell for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. That whole idea of, well, yeah, maybe my agency is more valuable now, but we don't know what it will be down the road or what the multiple will be. Yes, in some ways true, but in some ways,
you still need to work on the value drivers today. And there'll be more about value drivers in the coming months. But it's really important to focus on your value, your long-term lifetime value now.
Absolutely.
Because you're building it. Just like you're putting money away into a 401k.
Yeah, we've heard people say, well, I'm not going to retire for 5 years, so does it matter what my value of my 401k is? No, it's extremely valuable because it's all about that trend. Hopefully your 401k balance is growing and you want your agency valuation to be trending upwards because ultimately that all matters. It doesn't change overnight. We have to build value one step at a time. So absolutely you want to understand at the end of every year, CFOs think in years, did we grow value? And essentially how much value?
And that is going to be a focus more and more of Agency CFO for our client partners, our agency partners going in the future. We've always covered Rule of 20. We've always done that, made them feel safe and find those financial opportunities and monitor. But now let's go towards the future. What does it look like?
Absolutely.
Now you said that was one of two. Rule of 20 was one.
Well, the second is the philosophical of why does this matter? Okay. Does it matter that what my revenue is? What did I grow my revenue? Did I grow my valuation? I'm not selling for 5 years, 10 years. Does it matter? What changed? Yes, absolutely. Because we're going to be building value. You want to be building value consistently year over year. And as you grow revenue, the high likelihood is if your revenue is growing, the high likelihood is that your value is growing.
Mm-hmm. And how else can we help them? We've got some key takeaways. Think of the bigger picture, especially in the coming year or two, as we see the market is changing, at least in some of the geographic locations across the country it is. And those growth rates may not be as high. So we need to take advantage of the prospects we have, the productivity of our producers. Other tips?
Is to be mindful of this. And again, there's lots of things that go into value, and that's going to be a topic down the road. But when it comes to the financial value generation, how do you measure it? I would advise you at the end of the year, sit down. How much did you take out in W-2? What was the profitability of the agency? what was your fee and commission growth? Put a multiple of revenue on top of that to just do a rough estimate of what you think the value of your agency is today.
Realistic.
Yeah. And think about that being your total paycheck. So I always say, owner, your paycheck for the previous year was your W-2, your profitability, plus the value of the agency that was created.
And bonus points if you count some of those expenses, that your cell phone, your car, the life insurance, anything like that. There is great value in being an agency owner. We want to help you maximize it.
And if you do that, it may be an eye-opening number. When you look at it that way, I think you're going to find an eye-opening number and something that you're going to want to come back to time and time again, because that's the result of your efforts.
And remember, Agency CFO is here. We have a few spots open for some new agency partners in our mastery program. We are constantly innovating, growing, and learning. We spend a lot of time working on our business so that we can be experts at your business.
At the end of the day, our fulfillment comes from growing value. And we want that to be absolutely clear. It's what we're in it for. It is essential for all of us to be growing value.
So please like, share, comment, reach out to us. And I'm going to throw this one in. If you're a CFO out there and you want to have a conversation about life at Agency CFO, give me a call. Reach out to me. Please follow us on your favorite podcast platform and reach out. We are here to help.
Today, I'm going to end slightly differently. And I'm going to tell you that at the core of financial wellness is value creation. So go out there, create value, and you're going to improve your financial wellness.
Thank you.
Be well.